तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are to start chapter 33 with various devotees. Sunday, October 26, 1884. In Bengali, let me see. दक्षिणेश्वर मंदिरे भक्त संघे श्री रामकृष्ण प्रथम परिच्छेद पेज 679, English page 643. It was afternoon and many devotees Sunday were present in the master's room. Among them were Manamohan, Mahimacharan and M. We know all these three. They were joined later by Ishan and Hazra. We know them also. Balaram and Rakhal were still staying at Vrindavan. They are mentioned because otherwise Rakhal would have been with master and Balaram would have come on Sundays. So they are mentioned. The many young boys who at this time began to seek the master's company later became his intimate disciples. Latu lived with the master, and Jogin, who lived in the village, was a frequent visitor. So this is a general introduction. Sri Ramakrishna, happy child of the Divine Mother that he was, radiated a joy and peace that were reflected in the hearts of his devotees and found expression in their happy faces. This seems to be in some part of the original Kathāmrita, like a starting or something. So some type of details have come. They were seated on the floor and had their eyes fixed on the master, who was standing in a pensive mood, like a boy. Master to Manamohan, I see Rama in all beings. Why is a pensive mood? You are all sitting here, but I see only Rama in every one of you. As Anandamay Thakur already says, radiated a joy, then suddenly pensive mood. Balakirne Dandayaki Bhapchen. Oh. Is thinking of something. Is probably worried. What is pensive? Ki bhapchen is contemplating something, thinking something. Anyway, but all this bliss everywhere and then pensive mood does not fit in. He is joyful, everybody is joyful. After describing all these things, how come this pensive mood? Thinking deeply and quietly about something serious. अच्छा ठीक है. विचारमग्न, विषादग्रस्त. So it is not विषादग्रस्त at all. किसी गंभीर विषय पर गहराई से सोचना, विचारमग्न. ठीक है, विचारमग्न. Pensive mood, no, that is the meaning of pensive. But that we have to accept here. So why not? This does not suit. Anyway. Standing like a boy, deeply thinking about something. Please translate like that. Who was standing, no, their eyes were fixed on the master who was standing like a boy, thinking deeply about something. Thinking thing. It is much better. Okay, now we proceed. Because the translation should not hurt our feelings. Sri Ramakrishna, happy child, this over, huh? Master to Manamohan. So the previous context, the further context, all should come together. Na? Pensive might have that meaning, but the mood of the word is not correct. Anyway, so, okay, we proceed. They were seated on the floor and had their eyes fixed on the master, who was standing like a boy thinking deeply about something. Master to Manamohan, I see Rama in all being things. You are all sitting here, but I see only Rama in every one of you. Manamohan, yes, sir, it is Rama who has become everything. But as you say, the all water is Narayana, yet some water is fit for drinking, some for washing the hands and face, and some only for cleaning pots and pans. So, Manamohan did not catch the spirit with which Thakur has told. Thakur is seeing Rama everywhere, seeing Rama everywhere. God lives in all beings, but they are different for different behavior in a different context. And seeing Rama everywhere is a very different context. So Thakur says, it is true, what you say is true, but when but is uttered, that true loses its meaning. What you say is true because I have told that. There is no doubt about it, but that is not the present context. But I see that it is God Himself who has become everything, the universe and its living beings. Now understand the drift? Thakur says, I see Rama everywhere. Manmohan thinks that Thakur has told that Rama is everywhere, but they are different. And Thakur says that is true, but I see Rama everywhere. So these are the ifs and buts of the thing. So what is affirms, what it denies, what it says, true. That is true because you cannot deny that. It is true. But that is not the present context where he is seeing Rama everywhere. Rama, God himself who has become everything. He has become everything. The universe and its living beings. Now these are important words also. Because Vedanta will say Rama appears as everything. While Thakur says Rama has become everything. You understand this difference? So, the emphasis on immanence is as much, if not more, than the emphasis on transcendence. Rama is in all beings, is only abstract. Tattvam sarva bhuteshu avyaktam. Maya tatam idam sarvam avyaktarupina. That is not thing here. He sees Rama everywhere. So many important lessons are there. In that state of the mind, Thakur, inside and outside you may add, is seeing God himself has become everything. So it is a great statement from the immanent point of view, from the Bhakta's point of view, not from the Jnani's point of view. Presently, the master sat down on the small couch near his bed. What he was doing? Standing. He was standing, now he sat down. Master to Mahimacharan. So that was to Manamohan, a devotee. Now to Mahimacharan. There is no question of my being truthful. But must I develop a mania for it? Oh, truthful, there is no question. I must be and I will be and I am. That is one thing. But mania, that means going to the extremes. Should it be there? So he finds himself in a curious position. If I once say that I shall not eat, then it is impossible for me to eat, even if I am hungry. So should I follow truth to such an extent? But what can I do? That has become my habit. Again, if I ask a particular man to take my water jug to the pine grove, he alone must carry it. If another man carries it, he will have to take it back. What a fix I am in. Is there no way out of it? So, he has made by practice the character perfect. And from the practical point of view, it is not good also. So he is in a fix. But what the devotees can suggest to him, he is asking Mahimacharan because he is supposed to be a Pandit. Second point, besides, I can't carry anything with me. So one thing is truth, second thing is carrying, sangra, accumulation. That is impossible with him. I can't carry anything with me, neither food nor betel leaf. For that means lying up for the future. I can't carry a little clay in my hand. So everything has become extreme. We may add unique. One reader, when he started reading the Sri Ramakrishna's life, he said, "What is this strange, peculiar?" I said, "You proceed, then you will understand." Then, after proceeding, the person understood it is not peculiar or strange, it is unique. So, that is the situation being described here. Just then a man, so nobody has replied, huh? Just then a man entered the room and told the master that Hriday was waiting to see him in Jadu Malik's garden near the gate. You understand the context or you have to remember? Hriday was his nephew and constant servant during all his sadhana days. But then he ego increased and he tortured Sri Ramakrishna to such an extent that Thakur has said, "I wanted to commit suicide." Imagine the torture. And then Thakur himself thought that better he is not with me. And then what has happened? He did some other fault. He worshipped the owner, Trailokya Babu, Mathur's son. Trailokya Babu's small daughter, he worshipped as a Devi. Now it is all right from his point of view, scriptural point of view, but there is a permanent belief in India that if a man of a higher caste worships a person of a low caste, then that will bring evil to that person of the low caste. That is the problem. What happens to that Brahmin is not necessary here, but it will, some evil will befall that person of the low caste. So now what is to be done? It may happen again. So Trailokya got angry and asked Hriday to get out, never to enter that garden again. And in that fit of anger, somebody told Thakur that Trailokya does not want you also to stay. Because somebody might have told Trailokya, let us imagine, that what will happen to Sri Ramakrishna if Hriday is not there. Then said, let him also go. So Thakur, just with the towel on his shoulder, started going. Thakur reached up to the gate. Trailokya saw and Trailokya came running and said, no, I never asked you to get away. Thakur, as if nothing has happened, came back to his room. That is the situation. Now Hriday is in dire circumstances, very bad. And he has come to beg some help from Thakur. But he cannot enter the temple because that is the order. Next to the temple, there is Yadu Malik's garden house where Thakur used to frequently go. So he could come up to that point. And he sent message with somebody to Thakur that I want to see you or you please meet me. That is the situation. Near the gate, the master said to the devotees, I shall have to see Hriday. Please don't leave the room. So how much time he will be gone? It is a Sunday, people have come to his room. So he asked like an excuse, please don't leave the room, I'll go and I have to see. So that is something absolutely essential. He put on his slippers and went towards the east gate of the temple garden. Yes. M accompanied him. M followed like a shadow. The road through the garden was covered with red brick dust. The manager of the temple, who was standing on the road, saluted Sri Ramakrishna. The master passed the north entrance of the temple compound where the bearded sentries sat. On his left, he passed the kuti, the building used by the proprietors of the temple. Then he walked, Master is describing for our visualizing, and he had accompanied him. Then he walked down the road, which was lined on both sides with flowering trees, passing the reservoir on it. So we can gather some sense that he had to walk quite a bit. Near the gate of the garden is all right, but up to that gate from his room is quite far away. And went outside the temple garden. He found Hriday waiting for him near the gate of Jadumalli's garden. Up to that point he could come. At the sight of the master, Hriday, who had been standing there with folded hands, prostrated himself before him. When the master told him to get up, he rose and began to cry like a child because of two things. His suffering is one thing, and he has understood that his behavior with Thakur was not good. So that is another. When the master, how strange, tears also appeared in the master's eyes. That is strange for the master. He wiped them away with his hands. Hriday had made him suffer endless agonies, yet the master wept for him. So the kindness in master's heart is appealing to the master. Master, why are you here now? Hriday weeping. I have come to see you. To whom else shall I tell my sorrows? So there is nobody in the world to listen to him. He has, out of his own follies, he has come down. But Thakur will sympathize with him even now. That is his faith. Sri Ramakrishna smiled and said to him by way of consolation, one cannot avoid such sorrows in the world. So Thakur is taking in a general way, telling him in a general way to console, that when you are living in the world, ups and downs are there. Sorrows will have to come. Don't think because of that or because of that. That is the message. Don't feel sorry because you are misbehaved with me. But think them as things coming in the world. Pleasure and pain are inevitable in worldly life. See how delicately Thakur is consoling him, pointing to him. That is why they come here now and then. They get peace of mind by hearing about God. So all people suffer in the world. Master Masha is also suffering, and so to get peace and little happiness, he comes here. So that is also by way of consoling Hridayaram. They get peace of mind by hearing about God. That is the main point. Thakur talks of God and they get peace of mind. Otherwise, in the house, they are burnt. What is your trouble? So, present trouble, what is the trouble? You have come here to seek some help, not otherwise. Thakur has understood him. He is showing sympathy. He is consoling him. But he is asking in particular, what is your problem? And may I be of any help there? Hriday weeping. I am deprived of your company and so I suffer. Hriday still is smarting under his own folly. So though Thakur has consoled him in various ways, when he asks, he does not tell what is the particular problem. He tells, because I left you, that is my problem. Master, why was it not you? No, because he has talked like that, Thakur is telling him directly. Why was it not you who said to me, you follow your ideal and let me follow mine? So you wanted separation. Hriday, yes, I did say that. But what did I know? I did not know who you are. I did not know who am I. I did not know what is this world. Master, I shall say goodbye to you now. Come another day, and we shall talk together. Today is Sunday, and many people have come to see me, so how can I give them up? You come on some other day, we shall talk. So another way of consoling him, suspending the problem. They are waiting in my room. Have you had a good crop in the country? So one particular thing which always is a conversation between village people. Hriday, it isn't bad. So that point is all right. Master, so that problem is not there. What is the problem that he has not yet come out with? Master, let me say goodbye, come another day. Hriday again prostrated himself before the master, who started back to his room with M. Because M accompanied, so we come to know about this much. But Thakur cannot avoid the people who have come to him for peace. So he has come back. This much short interview. He did not say, no, I'm not going to meet him, too busy. That is not the way. I'm too busy, I will not come to meet you, would hurt him. So he went as short as possible. He talked both consolation and telling of some fact, and then told him come some other time and has come back. Master to M. Now while coming back, he is telling M of what had happened. He tormented me so much as he served me. When my stomach trouble had reduced my body to a couple of bones and I couldn't eat anything, he said to me one day, look at me, how well I eat. You are just taken a fancy that you can't eat. So much stomach problem. And Hriday says, you are taken a fancy. Again he said, you are a fool. If I weren't living with you, where would your profession of holiness be? So holiness is a profession. And if I would not have been with you, how could I manage that? And Hriday used to gather money from people before he allowed them to see Thakur. He cashed on Thakur's holiness. One day he tormented me so much that I stood on the embankment ready to give up my body by jumping into the Ganges, which was then at flood tide. Flood tide, water rising, it is easier to get drowned. M became speechless at these words of the master. For such a man, he had shed tears a few minutes before. So forgetting all that torment, man to man he is talking. Master to him, well, he served me a great deal. Then why should he have fallen on such evil days? So serving Thakur does not gather so much punya for him. Why he come to this stage? He took care of me like a parent bringing up a child. As for me, I would remain unconscious of the world day and night. Besides, I was ill for a long time. I was completely at his mercy, Hriday's mercy. Him did not know to answer Sri Ramakrishna, as so he kept silent. He could not understand this, the reason for Hriday's fall. Sri Ramakrishna returned to his room and sat on the small coach. So because of his ego and because of his desires, he is suffering. The devotees had been waiting for him eagerly. Several devotees from Konnagar had arrived. One of them came forward to question the master. Devotee, sir, we hear that you go into Samadhi and experience ecstasy. Please explain why and how you get into that mood. Why and how you get into that mood? Cannot hoy. Why you get into that mood is not a deliberate something. Huh? Why it happens to you would be better. No, English is not wrong here, but to me, an ordinary man, please explain why and how you get into that mood. In Bengali, কেন হয় কিরূপে হয় আমাদের বুঝিয়ে দিন. Why it happens, how it happens. That would be better put it in objective form. You get into that mood is correct, but simpler it could be. Why and how it happens. Master. Now, Thakur will explain in indirect way because it cannot be explained otherwise. Sri Radha used to experience Mahabhav. How it happened? Why it happened? If any of her companions wanted to touch her while she was in that state, another of them would say, please do not touch that body, the playground of Shri Krishna. So it is due to God, not due to the person. That is what Thakur wants to convey. Krishna is now sporting in her body. That is what happens in Samadhi. It is not possible to experience Bhav or Mahabhav without the realization of God. So, how it happens, why it happens? Because God has been realized. When a fish comes up from a great depth, you see a movement on the surface of the water. Example, common for Bengalis. And if it is a big one, there is much splashing about. That is why a devotee laughs and weeps and dances and sings in the ecstasy of God. So instead of describing why it happens to him, he has told in general how it happens and why it happens. One cannot remain in bhav very long. People take a man to be crazy if he sits before a mirror and looks at his face all the time. So that may be about Radha. So this example is what? Behavior will be strange. Or you may be referring to Radha or Gopis. They want to look in the mirror so that they should appear beautiful to Sri Krishna. That is how. Not for any other need. Devotee, sir, we hear that you see God. So now instead of Samadhi, he has another way. Sir, we hear that you see God. If you do, please show him to us. If you see God, that means if God becomes object, you can show it to us. Does God become object? Can you have a similar expression anywhere? The great Shankaracharya, while leaving his mother for sannyas, had promised her that wherever I would be at the point of your death, you remember me and I shall come. And like that he had come. He found that his mother is about to die. Now, the Ishta of his mother was Sri Krishna. And for him, all gods were there. So he composed on the spot and sang a stotra for Sri Krishna. The, the continuous theme of which is Bhavatu Krishna Mama Akshi Vishaya, Mama Akshi Vishaya. That means, let the Krishna become an object before my eyes. But the last para tells us that when Shankaracharya appealed to Krishna in that way, the Krishna did appear in person. And so he became an object of vision to his mother. And that is what he wanted. Now, because of some similarity, it came to my mind. But let us see how Thakur tackles here. Master, everything depends on God's will. What can a man do? If you are taking me as a man, while chanting God's name, sometimes tears flow and at other time the eyes remain dry. So that also depends upon God's. While meditating on God, some days I feel a great deal of inner awakening and some days I feel nothing. Thakur is an expert in play. That is avatar. A man must work. Work means do some sadhana. Only then can he see God. So you are telling me to show you, but that is not the way. You have to do something. Now in case of Shankar, we may say his mother was all the time devoted to God. One day in an exalted mood, I had a vision of the Haldar Pukur, the big tank in Kamarpukur. I saw a low-caste villager drawing water after pushing aside the green scum. Now and then he took up the water in the palm of his hand and examined it. In that vision, it was revealed to me. He is seeing all this in a vision. In that vision, it was revealed to me that the water cannot be seen without pushing aside the green scum that covers it. For that, all this vision. That is to say, one cannot develop love of God or obtain his vision without work. Work here everywhere means sadhana. Work means, Thakur himself is telling, work means meditation, japa and the like, not any work. The chanting of God's name and glories is work too. You may also include charity, sacrifice and so on. So some form of sadhana. If you want butter, you must let the milk turn to curd. It must be left in a quiet place. When the milk becomes curd, you must work hard to churn it. Until now, work was there, and now it can work hard. Only then can you get butter from the milk. So the milk, no, machine does it, but otherwise milk to curd and work hard, then you get it. Mahima he intervenes. That is true, sir. Work is certainly necessary. One must labor hard. Only then does one succeed. There is so much to read. So his mind takes a different direction after to his tendency. So there is so much to read, so must work. The scriptures are endless. Master to Mahimacharya. How much of scriptures can you read? What will you gain by mere reasoning? So that is not the work which I meant. Neither scriptural reading nor reasoning. Try to realize God before anything else. Direct means have faith in the Guru's words and work. So sadhana should be done according to the Guru has commanded, not reading books. If you have no Guru, then pray to God with a longing heart. He will let you know what he is like. So Guru tells what he is like. If you have no Guru, pray to God. What will you learn of God from books? As long as you are at a distance from the marketplace, you hear only an indistinct roar. But it is quite different when you are actually there. Then you hear and see everything distinctly. You hear people saying, "Here are your potatoes, take them and give me the money." A seller telling the purchaser. From a distance, you hear only the rumbling noise of the ocean. So, how can you distinguish which is real sadhana and which is not? Go near it and you will see many boats sailing about, birds flying and waves rolling. So, another example, not the market, near the ocean. One cannot get true feeling about God from the study of books. This feeling is something very different from book learning. Books, scriptures, and science appear as mere dirt and straw after the realization of God. That is true. The one thing needful is to be introduced to the master of the house. Why are you so anxious to know beforehand how many houses and gardens and how many government securities the master possesses? So this is a point made in the Chatusutri, in the beginning of the Brahma Sutra, that the sutra is said, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now Brahma Jigyasa is Shashti Tatpurush Samar. That means Brahmana Jigyasa. That is inquiry of God or inquiry about God. No, it is not inquiry also. The desire to know. And there, in that Shashti, both the meanings are possible. And Shankar says, don't take it to mean about God. Take it to mean one wants to know God, not know about God. The opponent argues, when I want to know about God, will the knowing God is not included? He says, no, the tendencies are different. If you want to know about God, you will never know God. If you want to know God, then whatever is necessary to know about God also you will know. Focus is different. So that is the thing Thakur is telling here. What will you gain by knowing everything about him, not him? Thakur has said, all the realized persons talk in same voice. So I told this. Where is so anxious to know beforehand how many houses and gardens and how many government securities the master possesses? The servants of the house would not allow you even to approach these. And they would certainly not tell you about their master's investments. Therefore, somehow or other, become acquainted with the master. Even if you have to jump over the fence or take a few pushes from, beautiful. At any cost, you must see God. Otherwise, your problem will not be solved. For that, you may have to undertake any punishment, any problem, difficulties. You must do that. Push it and get it. Ah. Then the master himself will tell you all about his houses and gardens and his government securities. And what is more, the servants and the doorkeeper will salute you when you are known to the master. See, Thakur's beautiful. If you know the master, then the whole world will become favorable to you. Otherwise, the servants will not tell you about the master. All love. So this simile is applicable to everybody. Devotee. Now the question is how to become acquainted with the master. Laughter. Because he brings the main point. Master. That is why I say that work is necessary. So he comes back to his point. It will not do to say that God exists and then idle away your time. You must reach God somehow or other. So only believing God exists is of no meaning. Call on Him in solitude and pray to Him. O Lord, reveal Thyself to me. Weep for Him with a longing heart. You roam about in search of woman and gold like a madman. Now be a little mad for God. Let people say, this man has lost his head for God. Why not renounce everything for a few days and call on God in solitude? That is his point. Go to solitude. Let people think you are mad or anything. Go to solitude. And so the primary objective in your life should be to see God. Undertake any difficulties for that. What will you achieve by simply saying that God exists and doing nothing about it? There are big fish in the Aldar Pukur, but can you catch them by merely sitting idly on the banks? Prepare some spiced bait and throw it into the lake. Then the fish will come from the deep water and you will see ripples. So, God is in deep waters. When He approaches, the mind will change. That will make you happy. Perhaps a fish will jump with a splash and you will get a glimpse of it. Then you will be so glad. You will know that fishes are there, they will come if I patiently wait. Milk must be turned to curd and the curd must be churned. Only then will you get butter. So some work is said, now is explaining. That is for solitude. To Mahima. What a nuisance. Someone must show God to a man. So indirectly he is replying to them, but talking to Mahimacharya. Someone must extract the butter and hold it in front of his mouth. Allah. What a bother. Someone else must catch the fish and give it to him. A man wanted to see the king. The king lived in the inner court of the palace beyond 7 gates. No sooner did the man pass the first gate than he exclaimed, Oh, where is the king? But there were 7 gates and he must pass them one after another before he could see the king. So many states of mind you have to cross. That is the lesson. Mahimacharya. By what kind of work can one realize God? Now his boasting has gone and wrong ideas are gone. Thakur has condemned that. So now he asks straight away how to, by what kind of work can one realize God? Master, it is not that God can be realized by this work and not by that work. God can be seen by loving God, and for that love, some expression has to come. The vision of God depends on His grace. Still, a man must work a little with longing for God in his heart. If he has longing, he will receive the grace of God. So, what kind of work cannot be told? To attain God, a man must have certain favorable conditions. The company of holy men, discrimination, and the blessing of a real teacher. So, these are the things conducive to the vision of God. Company of holy men to prepare his mind, discrimination to. So, he's talking to Mahima Charan in the Gandhi's mode. And the blessings of a real teacher. That is the criteria, current. Perhaps his elder brother takes the responsibility for the family. So, once you are eager, things will take place in such a way that it will be suitable. Perhaps his wife has spiritual qualities and a very virtuous and is very virtuous. Perhaps he is not married at all or entangled in worldly life. He succeeds when conditions like these are fulfilled. Some we have to find out to be in solitude and thinking of God. In a certain family, a man lay seriously ill. He was at the point of death. Someone said, here is a remedy. First, it must rain when the star Swati is in the ascendant. Then, some of that rainwater must collect in a human skull. Then, a frog must come there and a snake must chase it. And as the frog is about to be bitten by the snake, you must prepare a medicine from this poison and give it to the patient. No, 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 no. And as the frog is about to be bitten by the snake, it must jump away. And the poison of the snake must drop in the skull. You must prepare a medicine from this poison and give it to the patient. Then he will live. If, huh? The head of the family consulted the almanac about the star and set out at the right moment. With great longing of heart, he began to search for the different ingredients. He prayed to God, "O Lord, I shall succeed only if you bring together all the ingredients." As he was roaming about, he actually saw a bull. He actually saw a skull lying on the ground. Presently, there came a shower of rain. Then the man exclaimed, "Oh, gracious Lord, I have got the rainwater under Swati," that is a constellation, and the skull too. What is more, some of the rain has fallen into the skull. Now be kind enough to bring together the other ingredients. He was reflecting with a yearning heart. That is the main thing. When he saw a poisonous snake approaching, his joy knew no bounds. He became so excited that he could feel the thumping of his own heart. Oh God, he prayed, now the snake has come up too. I have procured most of the ingredients. Please be gracious and give me the remaining ones. No sooner did he pray thus than a frog hopped up. The snake pursued it. As they came near the skull and the snake's poison fell into it. The snake pursued it as they came near the skull, and the snake was about to bite the frog. The frog jumped over the skull, and the snake's poison fell into it. The man began to dance, slapping his hands for the joy. So I say that one gets everything through yearning. So there may be so many conditions, but all will get fulfilled if you get the grace of God, and that is why you are yearning. A man cannot realize God unless he renounces everything mentally, if not physically. A sadhu cannot lay things up. Birds and wandering monks do not make provision for the morrow. Birds and monks. Such is the state of my mind that I cannot carry even clay in my hand. Once when Hriday tormented me, I thought of leaving this place and going to Benares. I thought of taking some clothes with me, but how could I take money? So I could not go to Benares. Allah, because you could not fulfill it. To my ma, you are a householder, therefore you should hold both to this and to that, world and God, both. Both to the world and to God. So, well, my ma, sir, can one hold so that also hold to this? We'll take it up tomorrow. No, okay. Oh, Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviriritam Kalmachapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhuigurunanti Ye Bhuridajana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.